Loud.
Sandy, that color key you've got there makes your eyes very frightening.
I like a zombie.
It's sort of like one of the Bond movies, Goldeneye.
Oh dear.
I
Yes.
don't know what you're drinking, but I'll have some.
Well, okay. So Rick is the host, and we are recording. So take it away.
Okay, well, I guess away is where I'm taking it. As usual, this is where we're at, and this is us, and David's first. So
So,
everybody needs to mute themselves, I think. Let me see if I can do it from here. Uh, Participants. I always forget how I can mute this.
You
Oh,
get the
have you
participant.
made have you
You
made
get the.
me the Führer yet?
Excuse me.
Have you made me the Führer yet?
Uh, I made you the honchito, the big cheese.
Okay, I'm allowing people to unmute themselves, but I'm just looking to find again how to mute them.
There should be a button at the bottom of the participant window.
Participant window. Let's see, pink.
And if you don't see the button there's a
Yeah,
little.
now it popped up. It wasn't there before, but now it is. Here we go. Dave's
Oh,
turn.
okay.
so, the poem for today is The New Colossus by Emma Lazarus. And this poem, interestingly enough, was written before the Statue of Liberty was put in its current spot. In fact, it was written for the express purpose of helping to raise funds to design and build the pedestal for the Statue of Liberty, because the deal was, from the very conception, that the French people would pay for the statue and the American people would pay for the pedestal. Well, it turned out that the American government was not willing to pay for the pedestal, so it had to be private donations, and they had a big fundraising campaign that literally lasted years in order to raise enough money for the pedestal to put the Statue of Liberty on. And they auctioned off artwork and literary work, and people donated small amounts, and eventually they raised the money. But in 1883, they had one of these art and literary auctions, and Emma Lazarus composed this sonnet that has since become rather famous to help raise money for the pedestal. So she was imagining in her mind what the Statue of Liberty would be like when it was eventually put in place, but it wasn't actually there at the time she composed the poem, which is kind of remarkable. Um, One of the things about it that is a little confusing to us nowadays is the line that says, "The air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame." This poem was probably written either just before or just after the opening of the Brooklyn Bridge, which was the very first, of course, bridge across the East River. And at the time, Brooklyn and New York City were separate. They weren't combined as one city until later on. So that's why it says Twin Cities, because they were two separate municipalities at the time. The tune is a very old Spanish Ladino Sephardic song called Rosa en Florece, which has been also used by Richard Farina in the piece he called A Swallow Song. I like this song because in these times when there's a lot of anti-immigrant feeling, it's sort of an antidote. And despite what Ken Cuccinelli said, it doesn't have anything to do with being self-sufficient. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs stride from land to land. Here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name Mother of Exile. From her beacon hand goes worldwide welcome, her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep ancient lands your storied pomps, cries she, with silent lips give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me, I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
Nice.
Well.
No, Emma Lazarus died quite young. She says she died like 10 years after she wrote that. Not long after the statue was built. So you never know. But she lives in posterity because of that fundraising sonnet.
They eventually put a plaque on the base of the statue with the poem on it. I saw it there when I went to visit the statue as a boy. Also, I forgot to mention, the first few lines are a reference to the Colossus of Rhodes, which was supposedly a huge statue in the entrance to the harbor of the island of Rhodes in ancient times. It's Karen's turn, and she wants to sing the original Ladino song that the tune came from.
Just the first verse.
Cool.
Well, it's good to hear from Karen, but let's meet everybody here. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, that was great. Very exotic.
It was the Sephardic Jews were the Jews that were expelled from Spain in 1492 by Ferdinand and Isabella and were sent around the Mediterranean. They had this language called Ladino, which was to Spanish as Yiddish is to German. And that song was in Ladino. Translated, it's the rose blooms in the month of May. My soul is darkened, suffering from love.
Well, it was nice to hear her. The only problem is the banjo won out 500 times over, and all we could not hear it. At least I couldn't hear individual words. I could only hear the sound. So maybe you need to move the microphone closer to her next time.
Well, Rick, you just need to speak fluent Ladino, then you'll understand the words.
Well, I don't care if I spoke Icelandic. I still couldn't hear the words. But anyway, let's have Terry up next.
Okay.
Let me see if I can mute. Let's see if I can mute people. Here we go. Everybody but me should be muted, so you got to unmute yourself, Terry.
So another piece on that famous Spanish instrument, the banjo. The banjo. Here we go. Que laureles tan verdes, que rosas tan encendidas, que se quitan la vida. Alza los ojos a verme, si no estás comprometida. Eres mata de algodón, que vives en el capullo. Ay, qué tristeza me da cuando te llenas de orgullo. De ver a mi corazón enredado con el tuyo. Sorry. Eres rosa de Castilla, que solo en mayo se ve. Quisiera hacerte un invite, pero la verdad no sé si tiene quien te lo invite. Mejor me separaré. Por ahí va la despedida, chinito por tus quereres. La perdición de los hombres son las benditas mujeres que se acaban cantando los versos de los laureles. I need to practice the banjo a little bit on that one, but I guess it'll do.
Yay, Terry!
Thank you.
Yeah, there's probably nothing you can do today. There's still some intermittent internet cutout on your
I guess
thing, Terry.
it's the tubes. Got to
It's
clean out the
new
tubes.
vacuum tubes. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know what I can do about that. It looks like Rick is speaking, but we can't hear him.
Well, I was just making a bilingual pun. I'm sorry, I was muted. I was saying that Terry needs to take his banjo in the baño.
But the tricky thing with Terry is he's such a passive player. You don't know if he's still playing or whether he's not playing.
There was probably 3 times during that performance there, Terry, that was a question in my mind.
But the sound cut out?
Yeah.
It was like a freeze and nothing came out, and then whoop, it would start up again.
Well, this is a bit upsetting, but
But you're such a cool player that sometimes you
or something.
Since some of us don't speak Spanish, it really didn't make any difference, I guess, if we missed a few words.
It sounded good though. What was that? It was only a few times though.
Yes. You know, we could only wish for that when it's Tom's time, but I guess I need to make sure we put Tom in here in the mix, and that we don't get him real close to any other poets because it might rub off.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess it's Birdman's time next. Let me mute everybody here. Mute all, yes. Okay, don't forget to unmute yourself.
Okay, how everybody doing? Tom, I see you came in late. All right, I'm gonna read a poem, and it's called Inner Reflection. When I look into your eyes, it is as if I am looking into a mirror at myself. I really see myself looking around, trying to find out who I am. I tried the baseball game until my arm went out. I tried the hoop game, but injuries ended that dream. I love music, but never gave it a chance. I did some DJ work, wrote a few songs, but never got deep into it. I always find peace and happiness writing poems. So I would go to a quiet place, roll one up, fix a drink, and listen to some smooth jazz. My pen will begin to flow as I return to look deep into the mirror trying to find myself. I realized then that I was always staring straight at myself. The hurt and shame have disappeared. There were dreams of fame and glory as I viewed the future, but the wait has been too long with uncertainty. My eyes have lost their youthful view as my hand lost its art. I am not too old, but in my heart. My mind is filled with healthy thoughts. The tears that ran from my eyes have since dried up. The heartache is no longer within me, and I am finally free. Thank you.
Sweet.
Yay!
Okay, well, I wish I could unmute people so I could then unmute myself so I could applaud. The next one should be the Horton family, and we won't have any Horton hearing a who here, but go ahead. I'll mute everybody. Here we go. And don't forget to unmute yourself.
Okay, well, everybody's been playing a different country, and we're going to go to Greece for you guys. So we usually play at a Greek festival many years, and we have a lot of Greek songs we like. I can't pronounce them, so we're just going to play a little song, It's going to start out, it's going to have a slow, pretty movement, and then it's going to have a dance. And Jeff's playing a bouzouki that we bought in Athens, and it's really pretty. It's got a lot of inlaid mother of pearl, and you'll hear it's a real pretty, it's real loud. So I'm sitting up close today, so you'll be able to hear my notes. Okay.
Yeah, ready?
Opa! Opa! Opa!
Well, that definitely didn't sound like a Central Texas melody, so you could tell it was from Greece.
That was nice, Sandy.
Yeah, that's Yuzo.
That bouzouki makes those banjos look awful puny. If I can.
That's pretty loud.
That's a power instrument, that is.
Yeah.
What was that tune called?
One's from an island called Kalimnos, and the other one's from an island called Nisiros.
Yep.
Nice.
Okie dokie then. Well, I guess it's time for Mr. Thom next. Let me make sure I've gotten everybody muted first. And don't forget to unmute yourself, Thom.
Okay, thank you very much. Mary Jane, I haven't missed you, have I? Mary Jane was going to do a Herman Nelson song. I haven't missed it, have I? Okay, cool. That's why I'm here. Anyway, this is fresh, written this morning, and it has to do with a musician. Love comes in like Leonard Cohen, hesitant, unsure in this electoral war. Love wants to say, open all cages, so families might no longer be separated. Love wants no guns, nor drums, nor uniforms. Love rejects the argument for armies and police, and listens to librarians and other lovers. Love learns rather than preaches or teaches. Example is everything. Love misses Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but wants her work continued. Love remembers with respect and reverence all those gone from us, but can only really play with the living. The rest is candles, altars, tears, and incense. Right now, love is working for change in this election, in all elections, to make sure that love is still on the ballot and that hate is missing. Love can only grow in trust and work and wisdom. That's all, folks. Bye-bye, Stuart. Thank you.
Yes. Amen.
Amen, bro.
Actually, a bunch of women too.
He has to pun.
I pun to live.
That's all right. Open the store.
But now it's Mary Jane's time, so she can do whatever she wants. So here we go. I'm going to mute everybody. Don't forget to unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm unmuted. And this song is written by a poet who is now deceased, an old friend of mine, and Thom knew him, and that's why I wanted to make sure Thom was around when I sang the song. It's his September song, and I think he wrote it for the fall equinox, which is in a couple of days, so it's appropriate as a seasonal song. And it's a good song. It's called the September Song. And here goes. Field and fen are browning, leaves are blazing copper, autumn winds begin to blow. Zephyr skies run pearly, sun is resting early, where the western waters flow. Life moves slowly, it's a time to remember. Last spring sowing, reaping time in September. Thank the summer plenty, as the sun blooms barren, life must seek the warmth within. To survive the winter, find your niche and enter as the northern days begin. Time for tasting all the fruit of the harvest and reflecting a wee hour till the time of rest. So we come together to fulfill a promise, weave a covenant we share. Searching for the morrow, all our joy and sorrow serve to make us more aware. Time moves ever, it's this life we remember. Last spring sowing, reaping time in September. Yeah, it's a beautiful song.
You got Stuart wiping his eyes there.
I'm a soft touch. I like the change of rhythm as well as the chord change.
Yeah. Well, Herman wrote some pretty good songs, but he's more famous for his poetry. He wrote more of that.
His name was? What did you say his name was?
Herman Nelson.
Nice.
The founders of the Poetry Festival, one of the foundation members of the Poetry Festival in Austin. And he wrote
Yeah, I thought since there were so many poets here, this would be a good place to sing the song.
Did Herman write the music too, or just the words?
Yeah, he wrote. He was very talented. He wrote the music
Wow.
too.
I don't think I ever heard him really sing. I just heard him do poetry.
Really,
I've heard him sing a couple of times at Expressions.
Oh.
Yeah.
And, I've got cassettes if anyone wants them of his work, of his songs. He wrote so many songs, 150.
Wow.
Well, hello to Mr. Muted Chip.
Hello, y'all. How are y'all today?
Doing just fine. It's come to a situation here where to make things work out right, you're going to have to be next. So I'm going to mute everybody and let you take it.
All right.
Don't forget to. Yeah,
there we go. Yeah, got it. All right. Well, I wasn't quite ready to get it that quickly, but that's all right. Let me find. I think yesterday I did Swallowtail jig. I want to do Morrison's jig, another very popular jig today. So let's see. So let's do it 3 times through. It's in, for those of you playing along, it's, well, you know how Irish music is. Everything's in the key of D, but really it's in E minor. E minor and a D are the main chords. Here we go. Whoops. That's not going to be loud enough. And let me do that.
That's okay. Nobody else was ready either.
Okay. Sorry about that. Here we go. Morrison jig. Oh, goodness gracious, I didn't have that B part down quite as well as I wanted to have it. So
No one noticed that you told us.
Sounded good.
thanks. Thank you.
It's pretty easy on the banjo. Just...
Oh, yeah. That's right.
It plays itself.
Well, see, Chip, you'll just have to take up a new instrument, I guess.
Well, actually, I have my banjo is behind me. It doesn't come out of the case very often, though.
I see. Okay. Well, yeah, I've got an auto harp that didn't come out of the case very often, and a dulcimer that doesn't come out of the case very often.
Banjos and bagpipes, baby. Keep them in the case.
And
And you know, same goes for the flute and the cornet and the trombones, and
that's right.
that's the way
Use it or
goes.
lose it. Use it or
Yeah.
lose it.
Well, unfortunately, I think I've lost it already. This, I guess I'm going to be next. So,
Hey, Rick,
Yeah.
if you're last, then I should be before you.
oh, did I forget you?
No. I'm just gently reminding you that I'm before you.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, I did forget you. You know, there's nothing quite like a forgotten Stuart.
Hey, I'm a publicly performing musician. We're used to it. It's okay.
Okay, well, I'll meet everybody and you can just have at it.
Okay, thank you. I think Tom's heading off. Is that right? No. Okay. He's staying for me. Thank you, Tom. What a sweetheart. On behalf of the Greek song, I have here some ouzo and Coca-Cola. Ouzo is a Greek liqueur based on the anise. It's very good for digestion, so I take it for medicinal purposes. So.
Opa.
Opa. That's my story, and I'm sticking into it. This is an English song done by Steel Eye Span and Maddie Pryor. I'm going to try and do this without the rock and roll bits in the middle because I don't have those. So. It's called Gone to America. Okay. Married him in April, lost him in July. Listen to my story and I'll tell you why. They said that he'd been poaching and stealing wine. They said I wouldn't see him for a long, long time. They said he's gone to America, to work the land that some call Virginia. They said he's gone to America. Married him in April, lost him in July. They took him as their prisoner and they told me why. They said they had sent him where prisoners go. I asked if I could see him, but they said no. They said he's gone to America, to work the land that some call Virginia. They said he's gone to America. Married him in April, lost him in July. Cursed the men that took him, cursed their wicked lies. The night they saw him poaching and stealing wine was the night that he took comfort in these arms of mine. But now he's gone to America, to work the land that some call Virginia. They said he's gone to America. Married him in April, lost him in July, but now he's gone to America. to the land that some call Virginia. They said he's gone to America. Married him in April, lost him in July.
And where is that? Where is that he's gone?
Very nice.
Virginia. Virginia.
Virginia. There you
Like
go.
America.
Of course. Well, gosh, okay. Any other comments on Stuart's piece?
We love it. We love it.
Very nice.
Better than-
Enjoyed it.
Sure. Okay, then I guess failing all else except David's phone falling over, I'll mute everybody and I'll do my thing here. Okay, this is one that I don't know. I guess I was just persistent when I wrote it because there isn't much logic in it, but the name of it is persistence. The persistence of existence coupled with the existence of persistence causes a conundrum of years. The existence of persistence coupled with the existence of couples causes the continuation of the species. Why don't people get along? How come hate grows? Who says there has to be arguments? Why can't there be an abundance of love? If it's true that physics has laws and gravity is a constant within those laws, why can't reality have laws that contain love and joy, as well as things that make us angry?
Woot, woot. Very nice.
So, you know, weird as that is,
That ain't weird. That's a national anthem.
yeah. I don't think I'm watching any walls fall or.
Oh yeah, within us, within our hearts, they're falling down. I'll never be put back.
We'll go sliding around to David again. If he can keep his phone up. I gotta meet everybody.
He's the Spike Jones of our band. Come on now.
He's just sticking his finger right there in our ears. That's what the problem is.
So this one sort of riffs off what Mary Jane was doing because she was doing a song about autumn. And this is John Keats' To Autumn. It was the last poem he wrote, and although it doesn't say anything specific about it, it sort of has a foreboding tone to it, especially at the end. It took me a while to figure out a tune that would work for this because each stanza has 11 lines. But I settled on this tune after trying out another one, and it's a tune for an old ballad called The Haunted Hunter. Season of mists and mellow fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with him how to load and bless with fruit the vines that round the thatch eaves run, to bend with apples the mossed cottage trees, and fill all fruit with ripeness to the core, to swell the gourd and plump the hazel shells with the sweet kernel to set budding more. and still more later flowers for the bees, until they think warm days will never cease, for summer has o'erbrimmed their clammy cells. Who hath not seen thee oft amid thy store? Sometimes whoever seeks abroad may find thee sitting careless on a granary floor, thy hair soft lifted by the winnowing wind, or on a half-reaped furrow sound asleep, drowsed with the fume of poppies, while thy hook spares the next swath and all its twine and flowers, and sometimes like a gleaner thou dost keep steady thy laden head across a brook, or by a cider press with patient look thou watchest the last oozing hours by hours. Where are the songs of spring? Aye, where are they? Think not of them, thou hast thy music too, while barred clouds bloom the soft dying day, and touch the stubble plain with rosy hue. Then in a wailful choir the small gnats mourn among the river's sallows, borne aloft, or sinking as the light wind lives or dies, and full-grown lambs loud bleat from hilly bourne. Hedge crickets sing, and now with treble soft the red-breast whistles from a garden croft, and gathering swallows twitter in the skies.
It brings out the wonderful music. That is wonderful. One of the best poems he ever wrote. Ode to a Greek man.
And his last, apparently, right after he wrote that, he went to Rome to die of tuberculosis.
Yep.
So, David, when you have a chance, why don't you do When I Have Thoughts That I Shall Cease to Be? That's my challenge for you.
Yeah.
I'll get to work on it. Thanks.
Okay. That's a great poem.
That is.
Okay, well, seeing that the applause has died out, yes,
We're just lazy.
I guess I'll mute everybody and turn it over. What, Stuart?
We come for a love fest, and all we get is a roast. I tell you.
Thank you, Rick. Roasty Rick, his new name.
Yeah, well, I'd rather roust you than roast you.
Oh, roustabout, baby. Roustabout. What a circus.
Hey, it's like a roastafarian.
Oh, double again. He did it. He tripled it. He does it.
It was my fault. It's my fault. I take it back.
Why did you lead him off?
You can't take it back. You can't even take it forward.
Oh, he does it again. Okay, automatic.
I guess it's time for Terry here, so I'll mute everybody. Here we go. Mute. Don't forget to unmute. There you go.
No, I was just chasing the thumb picks across the floor there. Okay, so this is a song was written by Clarence Williams for Bessie Smith, who recorded it in the 20s, and then it got kind of revived by David Rock, and I'm kind of doing a version of his, and it's called "You've Been a Good Old Wagon." Listen here, pretty papa, please get out of my sight. I'm calling it quits now. brought from this very night. You've had your day. Don't stand around. You've been a good old wagon, honey, but better go to the blacksmith shop, get yourself overhauled. There ain't nothing about you to make a good woman bald. When you were in your prime, you used to hang around in a good old wagon, darling, but you done broke down. When the sun is shining, that's the time to make hay. I seen them new motor trucks, can't make that wagon pay. Nobody wants a baby when a good man can be found. You've been a good old wagon, darling, but you done broke down. No need to cry and make a great big show. This man has taught me more about loving than you will ever know. He's the king of loving, manners of a crown. You've been a good old wagon, darling, but you done broke down. You've been a good old wagon. Makes me feel creepy.
Hey. Been a good old wagon, but your tongue's still hanging down.
So did that break up any, or
Yeah, just
did
a
you
little
hear
bit.
it?
Just a little bit. Not as much this time.
Oh, gosh.
It's like you've not got the juice.
Yeah, you have to sit down and spread out a little bit so you got the bandwidth.
Yeah. Does the picture do anything, or is it just the audio?
It's the picture freezes. It's like fragmentary, like
Okay.
herky jerky. Herky jerky describes the audio as well.
It's gotta be internet crap. Okay.
You know, Stuart, it seems like you're the person I forgot last time too. What is it about you that I forget? You're not forgettable.
You're just intimidated by my personality, I think.
Must be what it is. Must be what it is. Okay, it's Mr. Birdman's time, so we'll let him intimidate you for a while. I'm going to mute everybody here. Here we go. Mute, mute, mute. You got to unmute yourself.
Yes. I was saying, I hope I can get in another poem after this one. I have an interview coming up with a radio station, so I might have to click off sooner than what I really want to. This
we'll
one
miss
here,
you if you go.
yeah, it's something that came up and they wanted to do it immediately. So, but anyway, it's titled Road Trip. I remember the good old road trip days, the names of good listening radio stations in different cities and states, listening to 8-tracks and cassettes, restaurants that welcome everyone, no internet or Google Maps to help, watching out for speed traps whenever you cross county and state lines. The air smelled like thyme and cow manure. Cotton patches, corn, and other plants grew in the fields. I had no idea where I was going. I had no idea where I was. Just a tank full of gas and listening to the rain pitter-patter on the windshield. Just me, time and space with no plans, no destinations. Those were the days. This is how I used to prepare for my road trips. Preparing for these road trips had a purpose. My old vehicle was not up to making these long trips anymore. The check engine light had been on so long, why even question why? The rattling sounds became familiar. People would laugh and ask, when are you going to fix your car? I finally said goodbye to this car, called the junkyard, and took whatever they offered. Now, in the days of the internet, you can download books, games, music, and movies with a click of a finger. You can locate motels and hotels and make reservations with a push of a button. You can even see what the room looked like before you get there. You can see the nearest restaurants, liquor stores, or movie theaters. Now I fly to any long distance destination, rent a car to run around in, or take a lift. You can get good towels, chargers for your toys, or extra batteries, and have something to write with, as well as get any kind of food to eat, any type of drinks you desire. Road trips of today have no resemblance to those of yesterday. Thank you.
Oh, ain't that the truth?
Very true. Very true.
Different roads, different trips. Well, let's see. If you do have to go on that interview, be sure and come back if you get a chance.
Okay, what time is this over with?
5.
Midnight.
Oh, okay. I'll probably be able to get on because it's a short interview and I'll be gone maybe 30 or 40 minutes about that.
Yeah, I didn't figure that interview you for a day or something.
Okay.
Midnight.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. I guess it's the Horton bunch. We'll have to. Let's see. Wasn't there a Johnny Horton somewhere back there?
Yeah. 1814 took a little trip.
That's right. He tripped a little bit. Let's see. Let's mute everybody. Mute.
Okay, you see we changed our background. It's to go with our next song. I think you'll recognize it. It's an American tune. So we'll just play it and you'll see why we have a new background.
Super.
Now you know why we have a blue background.
Man, that was worth the price of admission right there.
Nice guitar work back there.
Yes.
Eddie Lang.
Let's see. I guess I can hear the sound is dying down a little bit. So next we'll go to Thom, who's still out there in the bushes, but I can hear him rustling around. So that must mean he's still there. So we'll mute everybody. Don't forget to unmute yourself.
I'm unmuted, and I want to thank David and Karen Polacheck very much for putting poetry back into music and music back into poetry. Also, Mary Jane Ford, I let Herman's daughter know that you were doing this today, so I hope she was able to catch your wonderful performance of his fine works. Thank you for doing that. This is called If We Have Forgotten, We Are Birds. Our wings Icarus clipped, our flight pattern altered, faltered. Perhaps we number amongst those birds now missing en masse, who avoid the guards of migration, who have no number nor name, only generics, until the precious also fell down, golden and glorious, the ones emperors owned to prove their powers. Whether we were flesh or feathered, chick or elder, we strut and puff and forget why we now use metal to fly. Why we, diseased, need distance from each other. Bird consciousness means more than words. Wings are real and must be used. Those clipped vestigial shoulder blades were once angelic powers. Somewhere deep, we tend to remember this when news brings in of the missing. Those birds washed up on foreign shores, their tiny wings broken. Somewhere, parts of all of us are still missing. Thanks for listening.
Wow, that brought to mind last night. I wasted.
It's the Hortons. It's the Hortons. They have a who.
Look out, the Hortons are coming. The Hortons are coming. I wasted a couple of hours listening to the.
I think they saw Tom's cat.
Very nice, John. I was listening, Rick. I was. These rude people.
The X-Men Armageddon, and there was this winged guy, and when you were saying that, it brought to mind this winged character from this movie. Did you see the movie by any chance, Thom?
Yes, I did, and I was also struck by that.
Yeah, that was a striking character, I've got to say. Hello, Thom.
David?
Yes. I saw the painting.
It's upside down. The letters are upside down.
Did you glue your feathers on, Thom?
Particular arrows on.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to put Thom down here in this
crew, yeah, magical.
Yeah, and then the next one we got here after the previous Thom is Mary Jane.
Amen.
So let's mute everybody. Here we go. Mute. Punk. Okay, Mary Jane, don't forget to unmute.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to do an old traditional song, a kind of a Carter family song called The Storms Are on the Ocean. With the kazoo. So, be prepared. I'm going away for to leave you, love. I'm going away for a while, but I'll return to you sometime if I go 10,000 miles. The storms are on the ocean. The heavens may cease to be. This world may lose its motion, And who will glove your hands? And who will kiss your red rosy cheeks till I come back again? The storms are on the ocean, the heavens may cease to be, this world may lose its motion, love, if I prove false to thee. The storms are on the ocean, the heavens may cease to be, this world may lose its motion, love, if I prove false to thee. See that lonesome turtle dove as he flies from pine to pine. He's mourning for his own true love, just the way I mourn for mine. If I prove false to thee, my love, the rocks shall melt in the sun, the fire shall freeze in a cake of ice, and the raging sea will burn. The storms are on the ocean, the heavens may cease to be, this world may lose its motion, love, if I prove false to thee.
Kind family.
Brava, brava, brava.
Don't go wrong.
Well, let's see.
By the way, he stole Rocks Melt in the Sun from Robbie Burns.
Yeah, I recall that in one of his songs. I got that verse from a friend. I used to do it as a duet with a friend, and he came up with that one, and he just had to put it in there, but I've left it in homage to the guy because he's deceased now.
Homage. Okay, all right. Well, I guess in homage here, we need to move on to Chip.
Hey, Chip.
Let's mute everybody.
All right, let's see. I figure I'll do one of my own. You may have, actually, if you look back there, you can see one of my black dogs laying down right down here. I've got 3 of them, and I've written a tune for each one, instrumental tune. So this is not about the one who's behind me. That's a different tune, but this is about the youngest of the 3 dogs, appropriately named the clown dog, because that's what she is. So it's in the key of G. There's a 6 minor in there and a couple other things. We'll do it at 102 beats per minute. Here we go.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
Wunderbar, wunderbar. I was for a minute there, Tom D. I was wondering how you got those cats to be so still. And then I figured out it was a background photo. Let's see, it's Stuart's time. So mute
One of
here
those
we
cat
go.
still acts.
What's that?
One of those cat still acts.
Yes, right. Don't forget to unmute, Stuart.
One of those cats is a bass player by the looks of it. So. It's the motion. It's the motion. All right. Here's one by Andy M. Stewart from Silly Wizard, which was a Celtic folk rock band from the 70s. Some really good musicians in it. Called The Valley of Strathmore. By the clear and the winding stream, by the valley of Strathmore, where my love and I have been, where we wandered nevermore. But if time was a thing man could buy, or the money that I'd have in store, I would give for one day by her side in the valley of Strathmore. From the glen of the golden and green, I left for a land far away, where sadness has never been seen. I enjoy only costs a day's pay. But if time was a thing man could buy, or the money that I have in store, I would give for one day by her side in the valley of Strathmore. In Strathmore there's a long working day for a man with his hands on the plough, but it's work I'd be happy to do if at night I were lying with you. But if time was a thing man could buy, or the money that I'd have in store, I would give for one day by her side in the valley of Strathmore. As I take excuse me, I took a long draft. As I take a long draft. It's actually appropriate for the verse. As I take a long draught from my glass, oh, I'm drinking alone here again, and I try not to think of my lass, for the old days will ne'er come again. But if time was a thing man could buy, all the money that I'd have in store, I would give for one day by her side in the valley of Strathmore. But if time was a thing man could buy, all the money that I'd have in store, I would give for one day by her side in the valley of Strathmore. Live music, people, live music.
Yay! Beautiful, beautiful.
I like the way you worked in there, needing to have to drink out of your glass. That was great.
Kind of made me thirsty too.
Yeah.
That's what live music's all about. You go with the flow.
My problem is I don't have any whiskey over here in my glass.
You still have that ouzo in there?
Yeah, it did the trick. It gave me 4 more notes. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what ouzo will do for you.
Right. It gave you a whole nother octave.
Okay, I guess it's Tom D's time here. So good day to you. I'm glad you're here, and I'll mute everybody and let you have the floor. You got to unmute yourself.
Okay. Well, this is the first time I've had to do Zoom meetings for other meetings, but I haven't done any music on Zoom up until now. And that's why that virtual background is on there, because that's what I use for my photography club meeting. It's the cat's on top of the refrigerator, actually. But so I've written this song during the past few months, and I've had nobody to play it to. So you all are the guinea pigs. Do you ever give a thought to those old folks you sometimes see alone upon a park bench, gazing out onto the sea? They seem as though they're far away, struck me as kinda sad, till I started to imagine the life they must have had. Oh, back in the day when they were young, they'd sport the latest styles, but a scruffy coat or shop-worn dress are of no importance now. Current fads and fashion have long since lost their spell, distilled to what's essential for simply living well. For if you've lived a life well done, you're never quite alone, with memories of adventures past, all the places you have roamed, shared with friends and family, oh, the tales you could tell. So lift your glass and recall the past. Here's a health to life well done, my friend. Health to a life well done. Well, it's not the destination, but the journey, people say. The saga of your first steps till you're planted in the clay. On that passage of a lifetime seems the memories that survive aren't merely what you've witnessed, but who is by your side. Don't confuse a life well done with a carefree life of ease. There'll be heartache, pain, and sorrow that will bring you to your knees. You'll see births and you'll see deaths and all that comes between. All the joy comes from the hearts you've touched that give your life its meaning. For if you've lived a life well done, you're never quite alone, with memories of adventures past, all the places you have roamed, shared with friends and family, oh, the tales you could tell. So lift your glass and recall the past. Here's a health to life well done, my friend. Health to a life well done.
only hope that someday we'll all grow old to be alone upon that park bench, looking out onto the sea. Or maybe from a mountain high, or in amongst the trees, lost in thought, reliving all our fondest memories. For if you lived a life well done, you're never quite alone. With memories of adventures past, all the places you have roamed, shared with friends and family, oh, the tales you could tell. So lift your glass, recall the past. Here's a health to life well done, my friend. Health to a life well done. Well done.
Well done.
Streets of London by very reminiscent of.
Good to hear that mandolin again too. It's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah, actually it got to the point that my fingers were achy when I first started playing it again.
Get those calluses built up.
Right.
Okay, well, I guess we've run down the whole list again, down to me, and since I'm down at the bottom, I guess I'll go.
Where are you gonna go?
Yeah, well, this is one called The Flight of Love, and I'm not sure why I can't come up with more positive pieces of poetry, but they all seem to wind up negative. Nights of dancing in pubs recites, lifting spirits and hearts along. Must we see the winding lights before the ever-spreading dawn? When once we're home at last, you see what caused us smile. Before our eyes have spun and passed, the eyes in love, no heart beguiled. Life goes on and life goes wrong, making smiles turn down the while. There's more to life than hugs and song, even though that's not our verse and style. But some have caught the spirit's flight and spiral up and up from sky towards sun, whose heat and light will melt the wax and us soon die. Buoys up and up our heart's delight, counter to earth's pull and downward plunge. We close our eyes from deadly sight of end of life and love's expunge.
Icarus Part 2, wonderful.
Yeah, see, I knew that wax would come back in. Yeah. Stuart's fluting himself to death.
Oh, bad.
He's got his mute on, so I'm glad we couldn't hear whatever that was.
I said I never sharpen my whistles. So it's one of the rules.
Whittle away.
You only wet your whistles, I see.
Very clever.
Well, let's see. Since I can't quite say David anymore, I guess I have to turn it over to the Polacheck family. How's that?
Yeah.
So I'll mute things here and maybe we'll get to hear from Karen too. Here goes.
I guess I'll do the Fairy's Hornpipe. So I'm going to do one and then Karen's going to do one. This particular tune is an Irish dance tune, and it's called the Fairy's Hornpipe. So called because a man didn't come home one night, and everybody accused him of being drunk in a ditch, and he said, "No, I was listening to the fairies playing music, and this is the tune they played." And that lent his story credence because no one had ever heard that tune before. And this is the tune he said he heard late at night. The Fairy's Hornpipe.
So I'm hoping what we're going to do here is David's going to mute his mic, and we're going to have Karen with a hot mic, so therefore David doesn't overwhelm her. Is that how it's going to go?
How it's going to go. So we're going to do an old fiddle tune called Shady Grove.
Oh, okay. Well, let me mute everybody.
Okay. A little bit of it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Shady Grove, my little love, Shady Grove, my dear. Shady Grove, my little love, oh my Shady Grove. Wish I had a needle and thread, fine as I could sew. Sew that gal to my coattail, and down the road we go.
I wonder how
Love
that
that.
would work if we took both of you guys off of mute since you're in the same room. Would we still have different time
Yeah,
delays?
I think it worked fine the way we just did it.
Well, yeah, I know, but I was wondering how it would work if.
I think they compete for the sound space and go in and out.
Yeah, it would not be pretty.
I thought that
Kind of
was
like
good
Stuart.
balance.
Getting now, I don't know. That,
Turn up your volume, I can't hear it. Turn up your volume.
I guess no, Stuart wouldn't compete for the sound space. Just the latter. Let's see. Terry's still here, so
It's up all the way.
we'll drag him in and see whether or not he survives the flight.
I must apologize to Tom. I didn't really
What are
mean
you
to
gonna do? Oh, you
be
did one.
running out.
You got to unmute. Terry, you got to unmute. We got the beginning of your apology.
Yeah, the beginning of my apology. Let this be a warning to you. Don't cook dinner while you're in one of these things. I had a little pot of potatoes on to boil. and all of a sudden smelt that grand fragrance of
Burning, yeah.
burning potatoes, and I had to run. And I enjoyed it very much while I was rescuing the potatoes. Okay, now here's a completely bizarre little song that I heard from Mike Seeger, but I don't know any background on it. It's just a strange little tune. Okay. If you want to go to heaven, over on the other shore, stay out the way of the bloodstained banders. Oh, good shepherd, feed my sheep. One for Paul, one for Silas, one for to make my heart rejoice. Can't you hear them lambs a calling? Oh, good shepherd, feed my sheep. If you want to go to heaven, over on the other shore, stay out the way of the gunshot devils. Oh, good shepherd, feed my sheep. One for Paul, one for Silas, one for to make my heart rejoice. Can't you hear them lambs calling of the sheep? If you want to go to heaven, over on the other shore, stay out the way of the long-tongued liars. Oh, good shepherd, feed my sheep. One for Paul, one for Silas, one for to make my heart rejoice. Can't you hear them lambs a calling? Oh, good shepherd, feed my sheep.
Very Sunday, very Sunday. Hey.
Yes.
Yay, for the shepherd.
Library of Congress, yay!
Excellent.
I understand gunshot devils and long-tongued liars, but I have no idea what a bloodstained bander is.
It just means bandit.
Related to the previous bander snatch.
Or maybe a bandit.
Well, maybe
Yeah,
you
it
ought
could
to
be.
include those 3 letters in a Google search and see what comes up.
Could be the Fubius Bandersnatch.
Yeah,
Yep.
Jabberwocky, baby. Shun the frumious bandersnatch. Shun.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Okay, no Birdman exists.
Nope, he's flowing.
So we'll go to the Heart and Herd.
Yeah, you want it back?
The Heart and Herd of who?
We gotta unmute. Well, we're going to each do a song by ourselves this time instead of doing one together. And Jeff's going to go first. So he's going to tell you about his song, and then I'll tell you about my song, because I don't know what he's going to play. He doesn't know what I'm going to play. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, this is a song that I think was written by Jerry Reed, the partner in crime of Chet Atkins, and I first heard it done by a guy named Richard Smith, who was from Birmingham, England, who was a big devotee of Chet Atkins. Even as a young man, he was noted by Chet Atkins and made famous, I guess you could say. Anyways, it's called The Watkins Man, and the Watkins Man was kind of like a Fuller Brush man. He sold home products door to door. So here it is, The Watkins Man.
Hey.
Fine picking.
No more door to door these days.
Yeah, see
Sandy,
how Chet Atkins would like that one.
what are you gonna do, Sandy?
Oh, okay. Are you going to mute everybody first?
Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
You didn't unmute it.
Okay, now I'm ready. I'm going to play a song by a composer I know very well that wrote this song this summer, because the composer, of course, is me. And this is called the Gypsy Love Song. I learned this new scale. It sounds kind of like a Hungarian scale, but I'm playing it on a Native American flute made out of curly maple. And I just like the scale and wanted to write a pretty song. And then after this little love song, it kind of goes into a dance.
bravo.
Quite lovely, quite lovely.
Sounds great.
I'm glad that you know that composer well. I would hate to think you didn't.
Yeah, she kind of tells me how to play it, when to get loud and soft and, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. Well, Mr. Woodruff, I think it's along about your time, so gird your loins and I'll mute everybody.
Thank you. This is based upon a poem by Mary Oliver in today's Brain Pickings by Mary Popova, and it's from the book 2016 A Thousand Mornings by Mary Oliver. On Dover Beach with Thomas Hardy, Sandringham, to the still night beach, not St. Kilda, not Galveston, certainly not sad Brighton. I would go to, first to sit by, as I have sat by Jacob's Well and Cop Beach in Cornwall, to be by powers stronger and deeper. Slowly I would trust my sadness to the tides, walk into the waters, slower now, to neck high, float in the trust of the deep to sustain, let my weight be in trust to the sea, let go, release my sad gravities. When I became as light, I would slowly stand up in the deep, never having gone too far out of my depth, and make my way back, lighter now, with the weight of the world sunk in seas, with the light of stars in my eyes. Thank y'all.
Hey, what's the matter with Brighton? Come on.
Fucking Brighton, man, most depressing little hole I've ever been to. Shit on the beach everywhere, donkeys, camels, whatsoever.
I'll tell you a good pub next time you're there, sir.
Okay, good man.
For a man who's out in the weeds, you do okay, Tom.
Thank you so much, Rick. I enjoy your love poems too.
That's not the weeds, that's the secret garden. That's where he is.
Oh, well.
Yeah, Monet's garden. You got it.
I don't know. That didn't look, well, maybe flower garden.
Yeah, I ain't know what there, baby, except us.
Let's see. I think it's good old Mary Jane is next. So let me mute here. And you need to unmute.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Now, this song is called Golden Ring, and it's actually a country western song made famous by George Jones and Tammy Wynette, and written by Bobby Braddock and Rafe Van Hoy. But unlike a lot of country western songs, I've always really liked this one for the sentiment expressed, and I think it has a lot of value for American culture in particular. So it could be a traditional song. Golden Ring. Oh yeah, it's got a kazoo part also, and I didn't want to forget that. And this kazoo is made out of paduk wood, which is purple. So as long as we're talking about wood of our instruments, I may as well get the kazoo in there. Okay. Pawn shop in Chicago on a sunny summer day. A couple gazes at the wedding rings there on display, and he smiles and whispers, honey, that one's just for you. It's not much, but it's the best that I can do. Golden ring with one tiny little stone waiting there for someone to take it home by itself. It's just a cold metallic thing only love can make a golden wedding ring. In a little wedding chapel later on that afternoon, an old upright piano played the lone familiar tune. Tears rolled down her cheeks and happy thoughts ran through her head. Is it better, Lord, with this ring I be wed? Golden ring with the one tiny little stone, shining ring. Now at last it's found a home by itself. It's just a cold metallic thing. Only love can make the golden wedding ring. Small two-room apartment as they fight the final round. And he said, you won't admit it, but I know you're leaving town. And she said, one thing's for certain, I don't love you anymore. And threw down the ring as she walked out the door. Golden ring with the one tiny little stone cast aside, like the love that's dead and gone by itself. It's just a cold metallic thing. Only love can make a golden wedding ring. At a pawn shop in Chicago on a sunny summer day, a couple gazes at the wedding rings there on display. Golden ring.
The only song that I know that on a model than that is Betty and Dupree. Betty and Dupree. Betty told Dupree she wanted a diamond ring. He said, for you, I'd do most anything. And then to get that diamond ring for Betty, Dupree had to rob a jewelry store.
Ah, yeah, that's a little more
And they put him in
extreme than this
That's
song. Well, what happened to that couple? Did they stay together or did they break
They had
up?
They got conjugal visits after 20 years, I think is what happened, sir.
Yeah, well, some of you guys may have never been divorced, but I have, so I think that's one reason the song resonates for me.
Okay,
They never robbed any jewelry stores either, so I
Mr.
don't think.
Mr. Chip.
All right. I think I'll do something a little bit different than a mandolin tune again. I don't know if I've done this one here before, but this one will go back quite a ways. You'll recognize it. Let us pause in life's pleasures and count the many tears while we all sup sorrow with the poor. There's a song that will linger forever in our ears. Whoa, hard times come again no more. It's a song, a sigh of the weary. Hard times times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Whoa, hard times come again no more. Though we seek mirth and beauty and music bright and gay, there are frail forms waiting at our door. Though their voices are silent, their pleading seems to say, whoa, hard times come again no more. It's a song, a sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you've lingered around my cabin door. Whoa, hard times come again no more. There's a pale drooping maiden who toils her life away with a worn heart whose better days are o'er. Though her voice should be merry, 'tis sighing all the day. Whoa, hard times come again no more. It's a song, a sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you've lingered around my cabin door. Whoa, hard times come again no more. It's a sigh that is wafted across the troubled waves. It's a wail that is heard upon the shore. It's a dirge that is murmured around a lonely grave. Whoa, hard times come again no more. It's a song, a sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you've lingered around my cabin door. Whoa, hard times come again no more. Many days you've lingered around my cabin door. Whoa, hard times come again no more.
Nice, Chip.
Thank you. One of my favorites.
Very peaceful.
I went to Stephen Foster Middle School.
What was the second to last chord you played there?
Second to last chord.
You kind of slid into the tonic.
Yeah, second to last. Oh, this B.
Yeah.
I like that B minor.
I guess so. It's nice.
Yeah, I spilled some hair oil on the floor and I nearly slid into the tonic.
Well, actually, I wanted to know what was the 75th card before the last one, you know.
I'd have to take my shoes off to be able to count that high.
I can't come back that far.
Okay, I guess since I can't get him to shut up, I'll have to turn it over to Stuart. Let's mute everybody and go with it.
You're so kind, Rick. Thank you.
Of course. Always for you.
Now you got to mute yourself too, though.
Do I have to?
Yeah. Okay. I saw YouTube a few months ago of Graham Parsons back in the late 60s. His band, a bunch of long hairs back then. If you remember the late 60s, there was this kind of battle between traditional and the long hairs and stuff. They got a gig on the Grand Ole Opry, and no one knew when they showed up that they were going to be this grungy, long-haired, smelly, you know, all the rest of it. And they sang this song on there. They weren't meant to sing this song because it was an original song, but it was Graham Parsons was one of the people who wrote it. But it's a great song. They got away with it. It's called Hickory Wind. I thought I'd sing this because yesterday morning I went outside at 6 o'clock in the morning and I smelt the smoke from California in the wind. So I thought I'd do a wind song. In South Carolina, there are many tall pines. I remember the oak tree that we used to climb, and it makes me feel better each time it begins calling me home. Hickory wind. I started out younger, had most everything, all the riches and pleasures. What else could life bring? But now that I'm lonesome, I always pretend that I'm getting the feel of hickory wind. Ya-da-da-da-dee-dee-dee, da-da-da-dee-dee, ya-da-da-da-da-dee-dee, da-da-da-dee-dee, da-da-da-da-da-da. It's a hard way to find out that trouble is real in a faraway city with a faraway feel. But it makes me feel better each time you begin calling me home. Hickory wind keeps calling me home. Hickory wind.
Lovely, Stuart.
I didn't quite understand what you meant when you said that he wasn't supposed to have sung that because it was original.
Well, there was some contractual arrangement. They were basically a bad fit. The opera at the time were all short hairs and you know, country, and they were more rock and roll, pop, grunge, and it did anyway. They were that wasn't the song they were scheduled to sing. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. Tom D.
Okay. Well, so the song I did before, I wrote like over a period of a couple months during the spring. This song I wrote the day before yesterday, but it's not too, it wasn't too difficult to write because I basically stole most of the words. What it is the original song is called In the Rare Old Times, or sometimes called Dublin in the Rare Old Times. It's written by Pete St. John in 1970 about Dublin, Ireland. And I was listening to Ronnie Drew of the band The Dubliners sing this on Thursday. And I thought, wow, this sounds like Austin. So I rewrote the words. So now this is Austin in the Rare Old Times. I rewrote some of the words, I should say. The words that would pertain to Austin. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I remember Austin City in the rare old times. Raised on songs and stories, heroes of renown, the passing tales and glories that once were Austin town. The hallowed halls and honky-tonks, the haunting singers' rhymes that once were part of Austin in the rare old times. My name it is West Passon, as Austin as can be, born fast and loose in Clarksville, in a house that ceased to be. By trade I was a songsmith, lost to the economy, like my house that fell to progress, my trade's a memory. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I remember Austin City in the rare old time. I courted Peggy Diamond, as pretty as you please, a rogue and a child of hippies from the old South Austin streets. I lost her to some startup guy with a sports car black as coal. When he took her off to Westlake Hills, she took away my soul. All the years have made me bitter, the pot has dimmed my brain, 'cause Austin keeps on changing and nothing stays the same. Threadgills and Soap Creek are gone, the Dillo long since pulled down, as the drab identic condos make a city of our town. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I remember Austin City in the rare old times. Fare thee well to cool, sweet Barton Springs, I can no longer stay and watch the new glass cages that rise up along Town Lake. My mind's too full of memories, too old to hear new chimes. I'm a part of what was Austin in the rare old times. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I remember Austin City in the rare old times. I remember Austin City in the rare old times.
Yay! Great, Bob, great. Love it.
Yeah, I thought people would get amused that have been around Austin for a while and also know Irish music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and even the whole concept that you actually know it was Town Lake, there's a whole lot of newsters here that don't know that.
Hey, Tom, I did a version of that at my birthday party, and you were there, so I want copyright on that, sir.
Well, Pete St. John is probably the author
Yeah,
that'll
exactly.
get you in trouble.
Well, I can tell that the sand has fallen out again, so it must be my turn. This one reminds me of several recent nights when I just flat couldn't get to sleep. The solid night holds fast. When the night is solidly there and daylight is hours away, we cannot begin a thought or finish one so long begun. The darkness is like a knothole, stretching time in a bubble round. We cannot see the other side because our mouth will never sound. Nobody thought when it first began that wakefulness stretched so very far. Now I hope that morning's close, but outside I see that brightest star. To bed, to fight the sheets till dawn, to lie and lie about what's done. We cannot say what would have been before awaking and seeing the sun.
Been there.
Yeah.
Good one.
Well, every once in a while I got to do something good. Back to David again. Actually, to the Polacheck family. Let's get to the mute here. And there comes
Karen's checking out for a little while. She's relaxing, so I'll just do one. This is a poem by a poet who's forgotten pretty much nowadays, but in his day, which was the late 19th century, he was extremely popular, a superstar. His name was James Whitcomb Riley, and he wrote this poem, which is in the mood of autumn, as we've been doing a little bit. It's called When the Frost is on the Pumpkin. One thing I should explain, he mentions when the fodder's in the shock, which refers to grain that's been harvested and tied together in bundles called shocks. And the tune is Midnight on the Water. When the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock, and you hear the cluck and gobble of the strutting turkey cock, and the clacking of the guineas, and the clucking of the hens, and the rooster's hallelujah as he tiptoes on the fence. Oh, it's then the times a feller is a-feelin' at his best, with the rising sun to greet him from a night of peaceful rest, as he leaves the house bareheaded and goes out to feed the stock, when the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock. There's something kinda hearty-like about the atmosphere when the heat of summer's over and the coolin' fall is here. Of course we miss the flowers and the blossoms on the trees and the mumble of the hummingbirds and the buzzing of the bees. But the air's so appetizing, and the landscape through the haze of a crisp and sunny morning of an early autumn days is a picture that no painter has the color in to mock. When the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock. The husky, rusty rustle of the tossels of the corn and the rasping of the tangled leaves as golden as the morn. The stubble in the furries, kinda lonesome like, but still a preaching sermons to us of the barns they growed to fill. The straw stack in the medder and the reaper in the shed, the horses in their stalls below, the clover overhead. Oh, it sets my heart a-clicking like the ticking of a clock when the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock. Then your apples all is gathered, and the ones a fella keeps is poured around the cellar floor in red and yeller heaps. And your cider making's over, and your women folks is through with their mince and apple butter and their souse and sausage too. Don't know how to tell it, but it's such a thing could be, as the angels wantin' boarding and they'd call around on me. I'd want to accommodate 'em, all the whole enduring flock, when the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock.
Very nice.
We have such gentle claps here.
Oh, yeah. Give them a clap.
You know, it's nothing like the roar of the madding crowd.
No, Thomas Hardy.
Or when my dogs were all screaming after Tom
Well,
read.
now, that's a different matter.
Yeah.
It's the roar of the grease paint and the smell of the crowd.
Yes.
Cliche after cliche. It's fantastic. It's sure just to hear the old ones again.
Well, Terry, you ready to do it to it?
Okay, I guess. I did this one a couple of weeks ago at the
Uh-oh.
Melted thing. Oh,
Here we go on mute.
internet connection.
Yeah, your internet is
Okay.
acting up again.
I'll give it a try anyway. I did this at the Celtic session the other day, but I think it's worth doing again. I like it. As I have heard them say, they started out from London town on a certain day. They set a frolic I will have my fortune for to try. I will go into Leicester town, buy some cattle for to buy. When he arrived at Leicester town, he came into an inn. He called out for a stiller and boldly he stepped in. He called for liquor of the best in big Bay Roving Bay. He quickly set his eyes upon the lovely chambermaid. She took him up a candle to light his way to bed. And when he came into the room, these are the words have forgot to pay. Oh no, kind sir, the butcher said, pray do not think it's strange. The sovereign I gave your maid, and I haven't got the change. They straightway called a chambermaid and charged her with the same. The golden sovereign she lay down, for fear she get the blame. The butcher he then went home, well pleased with what was passed. Soon this pretty chambermaid grew thick about the ways. Was on the 12th after he came to town again, and then as he had done before, he stopped at that same inn. 'Twas then the buxom chambermaid she chanced him for to see. She brought a babe just 3 months old and placed him on his knee. The butcher sat like one amazed, and at the child did stare. But when the junkie did find out how he did stamp and swear, she said, kind sir, it is your own. Pray do not think it strange. One sovereign I gave to you. One sovereign you gave to me, and see I've brought you change. Your folly will give you cause to range. If ever you sport with pretty girls, be sure to get your change.
Yay!
Yay, good one.
Wow, Sandy, you sure did have green eyes there for a minute.
Green eyes. So did that song make it through without?
Yes.
Lot of herky jerky.
There was a little bit in there, but
not fatal. Not fatal.
I mean, I'm not sure I'm going to fix it, but
I don't know what we can do about it except keep on.
All paranoia.
No.
More ouzo.
Bounce around.
Yeah, more ouzo.
Sometimes it's just the wrong day, internet connections.
Too many people in your neighborhood doing homework.
Yeah.
Knocking off your internet.
You need a school bus to park outside your apartment. So.
It's a house, baby.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, Sandy.
Okay.
Wait, I'm going to mute it. Here goes.
Okay, when Mary Jane talked about her Paduke wood, I've got a little flute made out of Paduke wood. It was made by a flutist up in the Dallas area, and you can see he's made it, and then he has a little, kind of hard to see that, he's painted a little cocopelli on there, and it's a little tiny flute. It's in between the key of F and F sharp. If I play it sharp, it sounds like F sharp, and if I play it flat, it sounds like F. And what I've done is I've covered up all the top holes with leather so I can play it with just one hand. And so when I make videos at the beach, I hold my camera with my bad hand and film it, and then I play my songs with the left hand. And when I get tired, I play one-handed songs. So I'm getting tired, so I'm going to play a healing song that I wrote last year before I had to play a concert with one hand. And then at the end of it, there's a little short poem that goes with it. This is the healing song. little poem is called The Holes. Without holes, there's no flute music. The notes come through the holes. Human spirits are filled as the notes float, connecting our lives. Music breathes a new life through these empty holes. They fill the holes in our souls of the listener and of the player. The holes.
Very good. Love it. Very nice.
By the way, Sandy, I was playing along on my F whistle. It sounded very in tune with the F. And I tried the F sharp and it sounded way off. So I think you're closer to F than F sharp.
I think so too. When I bought it, he told me it was the key of F sharp pentatonic, but when I played it, I wasn't quite sure, and so I thought I don't ever play with anybody anyway, so it doesn't matter what key it's in. But I'm glad you told me that.
Well, you know, the point to that is you need to make more effort.
Oh, you get an F for that one.
You're so sharp, Rick.
Oh,
Yeah,
but that one fell flat. So
it's gonna drop you in a hole. Let's see. I guess since Birdman showed up here, we'll scooch back up one and let him take it, and then jump back into order. So let's mute everybody. Here we go. Mute. And welcome back, by the way.
Hey, thank you for letting me come back on. Okay, whew. Jumping from Zoom to Zoom is kind of crazy. But I'm gonna read this one. It's called Silent Skies. Never have been content with complete silence before. Words collect in my dreams. While the moon and stars fade throughout the sky, the silence begins. The sky is devoid of movement compared to yesterday. The clouds gather and move slowly across the heavens. The only things visible are hawks, egrets, and small birds. There are no distractions like planes and helicopters to change their flight. Birds play tag with nothing in their way. I chase sunbeams while sitting on the patio on a sunny day. Thoughts gather about life as it has changed with the quietness all around. A breeze blows softly, quietly with the soft clouds up above. The mind, body, and soul can lay back and gather a new vision. Roses and flowers bloom on a summer day, painting a picture with a rainbow scene that decorate the eyes with words for beauty. It has been a long time since the sky has been this quiet. The clouds and the sky seem to be so much clearer now, as the wind blows a freshness that is felt. This new way of life surrounded by silence is awesome. It allows the mind to roam freely under the sunny blue sky and breathe in creation and inspire peaceful creativity. Thank you.
very nice, very nice.
Well, Mr. Woodruff, I think you'll have to wake up and turn around, and here we go. I'm going to mute everybody.
This is an ancient folk ballad called Sunday 20th of September 2020. You may have heard it before because I use words. Streets of Austin are deserted when all the shops are closed. Revival of downtown, our noble aim. Bicycles now have pandemic cycle lanes. Austin parking, no problem, you can park anywhere, ma'am. People are home in their homeland, home office, Zoom eye-strained. When seeking to connect for business or for fun. Even HAM, H-A-A-M, is online. All our festivals are gone. Rents still high as bankruptcies rise. First go the small, the fragile, the weak. Music venues, bars, coffee shops like these. Then the giants, high-rise, who need a customer base, but they're all defunct. As businesses defunded go belly up. Now the homeless are many, and their presence seen and heard. You may be next is the warning and word. More unemployed, furloughed, dismissed or on leave, and downtown a ghost town. But tell me, who grieves? We have Amazon and Hulu and Netflix for dreams. Maybe next virtual generation will sell better scenes. Want to make money? Try technology. Sell better batteries. That's it. Happy days. Sunday report, baby.
Thank you, poets.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
David for putting poetry to music, which is his natural home. If it ain't got music, it ain't poem.
It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing.
Ding a ding ding. Yeah.
Got that schlong. Let's see.
Oh,
Hey, out of here. Get the hook.
Mary Jane. Let me mute everybody, and you can play right along.
Well, thanks for the opportunity. I think I'm going to do a Tom Paxton song, a most beloved and well-known.
You muted yourself accidentally.
There. I didn't mute myself again. Okay. All right. Well, let's give it a try here. Okay. I'm going to have to make a slight adjustment here before I start. And we'll start up again. Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine, when you gonna let me get sober? Leave me alone, let me go home, let me go back and start over. Rambling round this dirty old town, singing for nickels and dimes. Time's getting rough, I ain't got enough to buy a little bottle of wine. Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine, when you gonna let me get sober? Leave me alone, let me go home, let me go back and start over. Little hotel, older than hell, dark as the coal in a mine. Blankets are thin, I lay there and grin, I got a little bottle of wine. Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine, when you gonna let me get sober? Leave me alone, let me go home, let me go back and start over. Pain in my head, bugs in my bed, pants are so old that they shine. Out on the street, tell the people I meet, won't you buy me a bottle of wine? Preacher will preach, teacher will teach, miner will dig in the mine. I ride the rods, trusting in God, hugging my bottle of wine. Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine, when you gonna let me get sober? Leave me alone, let me go home, let me go back and start over. Let me go back and start over.
Yay!
That was a good one to play along with, I presume.
Good one.
A pretty easy one. I should have told you what key it was in to start out with.
I never been there. What were you in?
I was an A.
So was I.
Well,
Hey,
good. You must have been playing along.
after going through D, G, C, F, and E, end up in
Sign up
A.
for this
If
week.
anybody wants to see my kazoo, look at this gorgeous Paduke wood here.
I got to sign out, so I'll see you all later.
Oh.
Only 20 minutes to hang in there.
So long, Terry. It's
Hey, when I leave, I guess the recording cuts off when I.
Yeah, that's okay. The recording will quit when the meeting ends. So
Okay.
not to
Well,
worry.
I'll wait for you to tell me where it is.
Oh, I'll get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll get it and put it on the YouTube and send you the link and all that stuff.
Okie doke.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Is everybody else getting the information about where the recordings are?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Good.
Okay.
This would be the first I know about it since it's my first time here.
I've made note of your email address, Tom, so everybody will get it. Probably tomorrow at some point.
Okie doke. See you
So
later.
bye now.
Bye. Let's see. Chip.
Chip's gone.
Chip's gone.
It's me.
Well, no, you're not Chip.
I'm a chip off the old block.
No, you're a Stuart off the old whistle.
I'm a block off the old chip.
You're a block off of somewhere. Okay, up for Stuart, and here we go, mute.
All right. One reason I came to the States, lots of reasons, but I really liked country music, especially country music in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, before the electric guitars and before it really just became a cheesy version of rock and roll. That's just my opinion. Thank you, Alabama. Okay. So here's one from one of my heroes, old Merle Haggard, based on his prison experience. It's called Sing Me Back Home. The warden led a prisoner down the hallway to his doom. I stood up to say goodbye like all the rest. I heard him tell the warden just before he reached my cell, let my ukulele friend do my request. That's what it says. Let him sing me back home with the songs I used to hear. Make my old memories come alive. Take me away and turn back the years. Let him sing me back home before I die. I recall a Sunday morning, a choir came off the street, came in to sing a few old gospel songs. I heard him tell the singers, there's a song my mama sang. Could I hear it once before you move along? Let them sing me back home with the songs I used to hear. Make my old memories come alive. Take me away and turn back the years. Let them sing me back home before I die. Let them sing me back home before I die.
All right, Stuart.
Hey, hey.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, let's see. If that's the end of Stuart, then we're up against Tom D. And let me mute everybody here. You got to unmute.
Too soon, I guess. I was starting alphabetically. I've got a list of songs, you know, and I got to the B's. I didn't get very far, and I was remembering months and months ago, Dave Polacheck messengered me on Facebook and said, you know, there's this song called The Banks of the Band that you should do. And turns out I know the Banks of the Band. In fact, I know Stuart and Dave will probably remember I have an old album from Shirley and Dolly Collins that they did the Banks of the Band on, you know, in the very high, breathy voice, you know, singing really high and quietly. I'm going to do it different than that, but it's got my name in it is the whole reason. My last name being Delaney. One of my relatives is in this song. When first to this country a stranger I came, I laid my affections on a maid that was young. She being fair and tender, her waist small and slender, fond nature had formed her for my overthrow. On the banks of the band, it was there I first met her. She appeared like an angel or Egypt's fair queen. Her eyes were like diamonds or stars brightly shining. She's one of the fairest in the world that I've seen. It was her cruel parents that first caused me variance, because they are rich and above my degree. But I did endeavor to gain my love's favor, although she's come from a high family. Oh, my name, it is Delaney. It's a name that won't shame me, and if I had money, I'd never have roamed. But drinking and sporting, like rambling and courting, are the cause of all me ruin and my absence from home. Oh, had I the riches that tower in the Indies, I'd put rings on her fingers and gold in her hair, and there on the banks of that lovely Band River, in all kinds of splendor, I live with my dear.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
That was good, even though that was good. Even though it didn't have
That made it even better.
That's an old Irish tune called Slaney or Slaney or something. It's used in a hymn called Be Thou My Vision by John Greenleaf Whittier. But that's originally an Irish tune, so.
Called Slain.
I think it's called Slain, yeah.
Slain.
Okay, well, it's down to me, and I'm going to read 2 poems and then turn it over to David to close us out. It's coming up on 5 o'clock here. So here goes with the mute. I wanted to thank everybody for coming today and pouring your souls out here, just, you know, dribbling your digital souls out. So here we go with the mute. Okay, the first poem is called Not Not. And the first knot is just N-O-T, and the second knot's K-N-O-T. Don't worry about the front, just worry about the back. Don't worry about the trail, just worry about the track. When you worry about the back, you got to worry who tied it. You don't worry about the color, you just worry who dyed it. Don't worry about a song, don't worry about a rhyme. Don't worry about a song, just worry when it's time. They see him coming down the street. They don't worry about his mask. They don't worry about the knot. They just worry about the task. They worry what he's coming for. Will he do just what he do? Will he ever get it over? Will he ever make it through? It's the man in the bandana. He's a coming like he's rough. Just don't worry about that night. You'll sure know that he's tough. And then the last one is the, I like that, Stuart. The last one is the song circle. We circle and sing while harmonies wind and voices ring. The voices sing words and sometimes lament about things in the world and people's lives spent having families and jobs. And then it's the end, all stretched out and silent. No more will they bend. Sometimes we hear in a circle so round, a voice all alone, ululating and skating its sound, a cry for peace or a cry from pain. No matter of which, we judge them all to be sane. Then instruments join in to bolster that voice in carrying knowledge and making its choice. All join in marrying sound to the words, sung sweetly, discreetly, not sounding like birds. Until we listen and hear each time slowly, a song we must sing quietly, not coyly. The parting glass will sound out our remorse at going our separate ways, which we must, of course. But listen each month and you'll hear a sweet sound as back to this place our feet will have found, and singing again will keep us up on top to life in this world, which for us will not stop. So,
Good one.
yes, Mr. Dave, I will mute this and let this go. Here you go. Mute now.
Well, thank you, Rick, for hosting, and thanks everyone for coming. When I first started the Stone Soup session several years ago, this is kind of what I had in mind. So I'm glad we're able to keep it going. And we'll do the parting glass, followed by the jig known as Happy to Meet and Sorry to Part. All the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company. And all the harm that I ever did, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass, good night and joy be with you all. Oh, if I had money enough to spend, and leisure time to sit a while, there is a fair maid in this town, who sorely has my heart beguiled. Her rosy cheek and ruby lip, I own she has my heart in thrall. So fill to me the parting glass, good night and joy be with you all. Oh, all the comrades that ever I had, they're sorry for my going away. And all the sweethearts I ever knew, they'd wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and I'll softly call, good night and joy be with you all. I'll softly rise and I'll gently call, good night and joy be with you all. Bye, everybody. See you next time.
Hey, could you put the words to that in one of the emails so we could have it for next time? The words to that song that everybody was singing, or and the music too, if you had it, that'd be great.
All right.
Yeah,
Good.
the parting glass, because the words I
Okay.
have for the parting glass are different, and so I'd love to have the ones you're actually singing, so I can sing along with you.
Yeah, me
From an
too.
old book I got called Irish Street Ballads, and I'll just take a photo of the page and send it.
Yeah, that'd be
Sounds
great.
good.
Thank you.
Sure.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.